a member of STARS.
Originally conceived as a spin-off, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, directed by Kazuhiro Oyama, landed on the PlayStation 1 in 1999, and the ever-thinking Sega Dreamcast in 2000. But does Resident Evil 3 hold up, or does it fall flatter than a Jill-Sandwhich? You bet your bottom dollar it holds up. This action-packed horror thrill ride still knows how to put you on the edge of your seat as you make your escape from Racoon City. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis puts us back into the thick of the zombie apocalypse, taking place concurrently with Leon and Claire's outing in Resident Evil 2. RE3 stars Jill Valentine, former STARS member, and who I dare say is the true protagonist of the original. That is, before someone at Capcom suddenly got rock hard for Chris Redfield ever since RE5.
Loathsome humans.
As Jill Valentine, you'll be running through the zombie-infested streets. And to make matters worse, you'll be dealing with the Terminator-like Nemesis, an experimental tyrant sent in to eliminate all witnesses of Umbrella's experiments. In particular, the surviving members of STARS. And boy does this guy know how to put a fire under your ass. Having played the remake of Resident Evil 3 a couple years back, revisiting the original now has made me appreciate it all the more. And it made me notice how much of the game was missing from that remake. A huge part of what gives Resident Evil 3 its identity, the gameplay loop around Racoon City. Running through all the atmospheric alleys, exploring different buildings and passages, being ambushed by swarms that pop out of buildings and cars. Unlike the remake, the original here has so much character, and it retains the familiar Resident Evil traits, like finding keys and tools that help you solve some puzzles, and having to manage your inventory and conserve your resources. It is often said that RE3 is more of an action game, but I'm gonna disagree. Compared to its predecessors perhaps, but it doesn't go as far as, say, Dino Crisis 2. The survival horror identity is intact. There is a new dodge mechanic, and ammo is a bit more plentiful, but the amount of things this game throws at you, you'll still find yourself in plenty of tense situations. I even ended up being short on ammo on an occasion or two. And it's a hell of a lot of fun popping off heads of a zombie assembly line. You have all of the familiar Resident Evil things, combining herbs to heal yourself, using ink ribbons to save, and storage boxes to manage your loadouts. Something new, however, is the ammunition crafting system, allowing you to use various combinations of gunpowder to create all sorts of different ammo. As for the puzzles, they are rather simple. You have the ones that require items, while others can be solved through some basic trial and error, so they won't be throwing you for a loop. What will throw you is Nemesis. Being only the second time I've played RE3, I forgot how much of a beast this guy is. In the remake, he was a less intimidating, poor man's Mr. X. Here, he is what he should be, Mr. X version 2.0. Hot damn, is he fast and practically unstoppable.
It's all right, I'm a cop.
I don't think he gives a shit.
This adds all the more to the game's atmosphere and gives you a great sense of urgency. He'll make you paranoid as you're exploring, dreading the next time that he's gonna show up. If you do knock him down, however, you'll earn yourself some special items. One last thing about Nemesis, sometimes you'll be given the option to fight, easier said than done, or escape and hide in another area. And each decision comes with its own perks and consequences. Likewise, RE3 features branching paths, and your decisions will ultimately decide which ending you receive. The presentation is all kinds of awesome. I do love me the old director-style camera angles and the pre-rendered backgrounds. There's just something about the pre-rendered backgrounds in these games. It adds this sort of visceral grit to the world. The Dreamcast port, like RE2, is based on the Windows version and not the PlayStation. While RE2 benefited the most, RE3 does look much cleaner. Considering the GameCube port is just the PlayStation version up-resed, the Dreamcast fan in me is happy to say that this is probably the definitive version of RE3, as it also comes with all of the additional costumes unlocked from the get-go, and let's not forget about the almighty VMU. The game also features the very first mercenary mode, a bit different from what mercenaries would become later. Here you get to control, as the name implies, one of Umbrella's mercenaries, and make your way through the city with limited resources and a set time limit while completing tasks and, of course, surviving. As far as the controls go, it's what you'd expect. If you're familiar with the old RE tank controls, some hate them, some tolerate them, others don't mind them. And I'm in that don't mind them camp. I think the limitation of movement adds something to the experience, forcing you to proceed with caution and take it all in. But as I mentioned, there is a new nifty dodge mechanic. This comes in handy, but I found it difficult to get the hang of, especially since you're typically wanting to keep your distance in a game like this. Therefore, you're not really provided with any means to practice it. Now, I often would do it unintentionally, and I suppose that's better than not at all. So overall, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis does hold up, and it's still an insanely fun game. While it is on the short side, it's an awesome ride that leaves one hell of an impression. If you like Resident Evil and never played 3, or maybe haven't played it in a long time, or maybe you played the newer remake, the original is a must play. Whether you play it on Dreamcast, GameCube, or hell, the jaggy PlayStation 1 version, you simply can't go wrong with Nemesis. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Now what are your thoughts on RE3 or the remake for that matter? Don't get me wrong, the remake is by no means a bad game. It was a fun romp the first time through, but it's crazy how much content was missing. And in my opinion, it's all the best content. The most important aspect of Resident Evil 3, the city. Well, and the fact that they made Nemesis into a complete and utter joke. I really had high hopes for it, considering that Resident Evil 2 Remake is a damn near perfect game. But at the end of the day, at least we can boot up our Dreamcasts and enjoy the original and all of its awesomeness. Anyways, you know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you on the next one. This is Den Den, signing off.